Hi everyone, my name is Sophia and welcome back to Underqualified. Today we are going to continue our analysis on how Disney princesses can influence anybody, even the crotchety 20-somethings out there who are too old for that shit. This is actually the second part of this video. In part 1 I talked about Ariel, Belle, Pocahontas, and Esmeralda. And today I'll be continuing up through Tiana. I'm going to be referring back to some of the points that I made about the older films, so I definitely recommend watching the first part of this video before continuing on with this one. Same as last time, this is a negativity-free zone. I'm not planning on making all of my videos like this because I just love being angry and bitter, honestly. But right now, I really need the sanctuary of a happy-go-lucky video. With that being said, when I say negativity-free, I mean that I don't get to roast the characters that I don't like. Okay, after my obligatory long-winded introduction, we're starting the day with Meg from Hercules. She's the funny, begrudging, and jaded servant of Hades who falls in love with Hercules. As much as I absolutely love her character, it took me a minute to see past the brick wall of sarcasm that she uses to protect herself. However, I think that the way that she processes the betrayal of her last ex can be extremely informative and comforting for people who have undergone devastating changes in their lives. In the distant past, she was really romantic and caring, which compelled her to save her boyfriend from Hades by trading places with him in the underworld. He immediately forgets about just this huge sacrifice that she made, and quickly falls in love with another woman. Meg's just absolutely destroyed by that, and only when she meets Hercules does she realize that it's possible for her to trust and to love again. Through this arc, she shows firstly that it's okay to feel pain, and secondly that having it skew your view of the world is normal. While some people may be thrown off by pessimistic people or pessimism in general, in this case we can see that negativity can come from a place of heartbreak, and we can even come to sympathize with it. Meg isn't some heartless henchwoman of Hades. She was just a woman who had been hurt. And then, after meeting Hercules, she teaches that negativity is not an inherently permanent state. Growth is possible, and the restoration of hope is possible. You could hold on to pessimism if for some reason that's what you want, but if it upsets you, there are endless opportunities in your life to change it. Okay, Meg is only like 30 years old, so that isn't really the clearest example of it never being too late to change. But look, the sentiment is still there. Anyways. Also, this is just a side note from me. I don't think it's something that necessarily comes from Meg herself. But maybe you'll meet a person who will help you through your time of need, like Hercules. But maybe you won't. Whether you work through something all on your own or you need the help of someone else to do it, it's okay. Your success in either scenario is valid. You aren't weak for seeking help, and your accomplishments are not diminished because you didn't achieve them all on your own. Okay, apparently my mental breakdowns didn't make this audio long enough for the video, so I just wanted to use the next 20 seconds to apologize to Meg for the face shape. It's an okay face shape on its own, but I just After Meg is the beloved warrior, Mulan. The woman known as Hua Mulan was real, and like Pocahontas, Disney's adaptation of her original story has a lot of changes. Links to the info about the real Ballad of Mulan will be in the description. It's honestly really incredible, so you should definitely check it out. Disney's Mulan is the intelligent, determined, loyal daughter of an aging Chinese soldier. She takes his place in the Imperial Army just as their war with the Huns is reaching its peak, despite social customs and laws that forbid female involvement in the military. Her story tells a clear message of feminine empowerment, which was just really amazing to see as a kid. It's not that I had a lack of strong female role models in my life. I was fortunate enough to have many as I grew up, and they have all just been really supportive of me. So it's not like I ever felt as I was at a disadvantage for being a girl. However, the focus on Mulan's strength and skill was still awesome because it really added something new to the Disney princess franchise. Practical intelligence, street smarts, or whatever you want to call it. There's also a more general message of perseverance and truthfulness to yourself and honor that boys and girls alike can benefit from. Mulan did what she wanted, period. You should almost never let the scrutiny of others dictate what you do with your life or prevent you from doing what you think is right. If they're looking out for your safety, sure. If they're looking out for the safety of others, absolutely. However, if they're trying to stop you solely because what you want is not normal, screw them, honestly. Mulan sought to live a life that matched her true self more. A life that had challenges and duties that she felt more comfortable with handling. She didn't feel that she was cut out for a traditional life where she'd get married and have kids. She still wanted to take care of her family, but she found her own unique and absolutely metal way to do it. Oh god, when was the last time somebody said metal? Anyways, she took sole responsibility for the honor that she has, not letting other people decide if she was or how she was supposed to become a good or even great person. It's just a really, really awesome message to share with younger generations. The change that we're looking for can only be made by people just reaching and grabbing and fighting for the things that they want, and I'd personally rather live in a world filled with chaos and variety than one that's just completely stagnant. Next is Jane from Tarzan. This curious woman visits Africa on a scientific expedition for gorillas and is shocked to meet a man who grew up in their ranks. She is so open to new experiences that it's actually kind of crazy, but still, she shows how liberating it can be just to dive face first into uncertainty. She shows the rewards of bravery with her fun and go-with-the-flow attitude. Like, you cannot try to tell me that her life in the jungle is not the ideal. Like, she meets a man that's raised by gorillas and gets to be friends with said gorillas and swings around on vines. Like, you're kidding. She doesn't have to freaking drive. Anyway, she's also really, really kind. She doesn't belittle Tarzan because he appears to be unintelligent or uncivilized. Instead, she treats him like the person that he is and is very understanding when he has difficulty learning certain things. She's kind of like Belle in that respect, like being understanding and patient, but I don't think that Jane needed Tarzan to show her something that would make her trust him or to think that he is worth fixing, like Belle did. Tarzan saves her from the baboons, and he does seem to be pretty adept at learning, especially in picking up new languages, which is just really great in this scenario. But something tells me that she would have tried to help him no matter what. If he was stupid or if he was brutish, it just really wouldn't matter to her because he was still human. That is, it wouldn't matter to her after she got over the shock of seeing a man who was raised by freaking gorillas. Fourth for today is Kida from Atlantis, the place and the movie. Her home was sunken into the ocean thousands and thousands of years ago and has been on the decline ever since. Their wealth, technological prowess, and a great deal of their culture faded away alongside their population. Kida is their princess, and she works day in and day out to find a way to restore her people's greatness and to keep up the work of her elderly father. Enter a big ol' American expedition team led by Milo Thatch, some random simp who rode a boat for like the first time about a week ago and looks like a long-lost descendant of the great praying mantis people. She is determined to learn about both the new world that he comes from and about her own world and its lost history. In her willingness to find new solutions to old problems, she personifies fluidity and spontaneity. Her father is insistent on banishing Milo's expedition team in favor of preserving what little is left of their culture, but Kida pushes to keep them in Atlantis so that they can learn from them. In the end, what protected her home was a combination of old and new. The spiritual energy in Atlantis used Kida to protect itself, and also Milo's team ultimately protected her. In order to save the city, the protagonist drew inspiration from their culture and foreign ones, and from the past and present and ideas of the future. She tried to help her people by any means necessary and saw value in both innovation and tradition. Hold on to your roots, Kita teaches us, but also keep in mind that the world around you is changing. You may have to change with it, and that may be scary, but the world just isn't going to wait for you to catch up. Adaptation can help you to grow in the future. Just don't completely compromise everything that makes you, you. And last for the day is one of my personal favorites, Tiana, from Princess and the Frog. She's a black woman in 1920s New Orleans who dedicates her life to work as she strives to open a successful restaurant of her own, which is something that she had planned to do with her late father. Right off the bat, the story sympathizes with people who have experienced the death of a close family member. Not to be trite, but the people you love will always be with you. The influence that they had on you and the love that you felt for one another can never be taken away from you, and it can never be diminished by the love that you may find in the future, even though it can feel that way. In the rising action of the movie, she meets Prince Naveen, who is essentially her exact opposite, laid back, spoiled, with little to no ambition outside of partying. After dropping his playboy persona, he actually becomes a catalyst for much of the movie's other lessons. Firstly, his and Tiana's relationship shows the value of reciprocity and equality. All the work that needs to go into a solid relationship, or even just a solid partnership, isn't shifted completely onto Tiana just because she's the one that's supposed to be responsible. They change together, with both Naveen and Tiana bringing something to the table. This brings me to the second lesson of the movie. Naveen's relaxed outlook counters Tiana's workaholic one, resulting in her finding a balance between work and life that has been sorely absent in the past 20 years. While productivity and progress are really important, so are self-care and happiness. You don't need to slow down or completely trash all the goals that you have set in your life just to be happy and healthy and at peace. You just need to be responsible with balancing how much you work on your career and how much you work on yourself. Tiana reminds me of Esmeralda, in that both of them share the message that you shouldn't spread yourself too thin for the sake of your passions in life. With that being said, I think that this message hits harder with Tiana, because we see her struggling to keep her work ethic in check. No disrespect at all to my Lord and Savior Esmeralda, but she can seem a bit inhuman at times because we only know her to have a strong moral compass and well-organized priorities. Seeing Tiana's learning process humanizes her and shows that finding balance is an attainable goal that you can set for yourself. That's all for this week, and here's the full class photo. We'll finish the third and final row next Thursday. As I said earlier, links to the Ballad of Mulan will be down in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you think I've missed something important, or if you just want to talk about Disney with me and whoever else happens to be watching this, leave a comment down below. I'm always eager to learn from other people, because after all, I'm underqualified.